Sounds. And music. We're here. Hello. We're back for the Drawthrough. Let me hop on over. Kerswoosh. We don't need that. So yes, we're back in Final Fantasy IX. Disc 3 or whatever. Plodding our way through the post-game, essentially. As I like to think of it. Yeah, and some things have happened in the last couple of streams since we've been back. And they've all been perfectly reasonable. So, a little zoom out. So, as a quick reminder of where we are roughly in the story generally, about 2.5 out of the 4 kingdoms of the world have been obliterated as a consequence of a war instigated by a strange person called Mr. Swan, who nobody really knows an awful lot about, but who has introduced the idea of magical weaponry to the world, including the manufacture of black mages and also the capturing and use of giant, horrific summoned monsters. We have successfully, well, I say we didn't really have a part in it. Mr. Swan successfully took out the person who was actually commanding those armies, who he corrupted over time, who was the mother of the princess who's in the party. And now he's just sort of on the loose. We don't really know what his plan is, all things considered. He's just sort of doing stuff to get power to do something, maybe, possibly. Who really knows? But in trying to work out what was going on with him, we discovered that a bunch of the black mages who had previously thrown off their shackles of being used as weapons of war have rejoined him with the promise that he can elongate their life. And so we tried to work out what that was all about, and in investigating that, we were captured and forced to do a MacGuffin quest. You're not bopping to Oliver Tree's Miss You Again and Again and Again. I mean, you're welcome to bop to Oliver Tree's Miss You Again and Again and Again. I only know a couple of Oliver Tree songs. It goes on and 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 on. I know that one. And he also did a song with Little Big, which was good. But yeah, how you doing, Christy? You right? You having a good time and not bopping? The video has you mesmerized. It's good at videos. Need to know what it means. Sounds fun. Hey, have you had a good day? It's been nice. What was I saying? I was saying something.
I can't force it. It's gotta be locked from somewhere.
I was saying that I can't force it and I need to take things at my own pace. Hey, Cheap. Googling forums, the rabbit hole has got you. No. Hi, how you doing? It's a Jeep. A Jeep is here. But just a quick recap. So we're trying to work out what this Mr. Swan's doing. He captured us and used us to try and get a MacGuffin. This MacGuffin, the Trongle Stone of Velvet. And upon trying to get the Trongle Stone of Velvet, we were accosted by a plane who wanted to fight us. Look, they'd already designed it. They didn't know where to put it in the game, so it's here. So we did that. We got the MacGuffin. We went back. However, the other half of our party who were not forced to go on this MacGuffin quest, it transpires that Mr. Swan's just going to kill them anyway. Fortunately for us, we have a small frog who can deactivate the trap, but only after playing red light, green light with a hedgehog pie and then doing some weight puzzles and a time limit with some great music. But after that, we wander through the desert palace that this person has set up underneath the desert, We do some puzzles and so on and so forth, and then we fight a strange monolith thing, which is like the security system in this place. That's just a boss. With a neat little gimmick that the more you do in the palace, the less powers this thing has. So there's a kind of nice little balance between exploration versus pure combat. Anyway, after that, a lot happened because I moved things around, but it's fine. We give over the MacGuffin. However, we learn only after we've given over the MacGuffin that he was going to kill the friends, and then Mr. Swan runs away with the MacGuffin, and also with Betty and Pistachio, who they kidnapped, who frickin' Frack kidnapped, who are also working. There are a couple of jesters who were previously working for the Queen, but are now working for Mr. Swan. It looked like its size is tissue instead of they've. Alright, don't worry. Ficky. Okay, there we go. I mean, I write quickly and badly, so it's fine. Elves! What? Elves! Takihi! Elves! Oh, what a good, great stream this is. Hello, hello, hello. What's all this then? How is the mist? Is the mist good? I will quickly finish the recap, because it'll be very important, and everything that I mention here will be have rippling effects for the rest of the story, and not something that you can completely forget hereafter. Elves bells! What on earth do you mean, miss? Elves bells, aka Cuthbert. So yes, we hand over the MacGuffin, he kidnaps Betty and Pistachio, and he flies away on the Girl Boss 1. Mysteriously, he has it, which was previously kidnapped by the Queen of Lindblom, Queen Girl Boss. But we don't know where she is. So. And we go chasing after them on the Blue Narcissus, or whatever it was called, boat captained by March, which is why we actually successfully chase the airship. And we find out that the airship is going to Mount Trongle, a big old volcano that has a gift shop and visitor center by it. The person who runs the gift shop and visitor center is not particularly pleased with us being rather panicky and trying to find out what's going on. However, eventually we discover inside the volcano is a hitherto unexplored, well, not hitherto unexplored, it was a civilization, but for the last however many hundreds of years, unexplored civilization of mole people. The mole people are long dead, but we wander around that for a bit, and we find underneath there is a big old weird summoning circle thing and a door with a chest of drawers in front of it. And it turns out that Mr. Swan is trying to do what Frickin' Frack were doing to
Behuin and Kubnath, Fanu Naemna, Bagliz Kafungin, Kathavahel, Kulth Cthulhu Kafungni, Ia Rigazengaro, Ia Hydra.
Honestly, it fits. They were trying to do the ritual for which she helpfully provided the transcription. That they did do to Princess Butterknife back when she was turned 16 to extract all of her summoned monsters. Getting all the long ones lately. Yeah, so they were trying to extract the Eidolons, the summoned monsters, from Betty, who is also a summoner, but also like 6 years old or whoever else she is. But it turns out they can't do it, and they can't do it because Pistachio, the Moogle, is there to save the day, and it actually turns out that Pistachio is not a Moogle. Pistachio is a giant monster. Because they are, in fact, also an Eidolon. They are a summon who has been protecting Betty for the last 6 years, and who would have become her sort of protector at the age of 16. But, you know, when Frickin' Frack are involved, the rules get thrown out of the window. So Pistachio goes Hulk mode and takes out the Jesters. and everything is good. But Pistachio is no longer the little Moogle friend that they can say hello to anymore, and they are dissipated into the summon ether realm, where they are just a sort of general idea of a thing rather than a physical thing. I don't know. And all that's left is the ribbon that they were going to wear when they were older, but they were too small. Pistachio needs to get a bigger dress, exactly. And until they do that, terms of service means that they can't appear in this game anymore. So, however, that is not the end of Freck and Frack, because on the floor they were, Mr. Swan squishes some magicalness over them, and they get lifted up weirdly into the air, like that, and get turned into an horrible monster, who we then fight and kill, because this is an RPG and nothing can really last. And that's where we left off. Having the Mr. Swans run off somewhere. Vivi tried to chase him, but he left. But yeah, we have now taken out Frick and Frack and whatever their weird abomination conglomeration's called. I believe it was called Melted Gemini or something like that. But we're here. But we also have a door that we didn't open because there was a chest of drawers in front of it. So we're going to have to open that door. Well, we're not going to have to open that door, but the voice behind the door is rather insistent that we do open it. So we're going to do that. It was called Fruck. Canonized. Right. But whoever was behind the door, you may ask. I haven't drawn today. So we move the heavy chest of drawers out of the way. And we remember that we have a drawing of Simeon poking his head through, and Quimch. So we're going to reuse them. Because I'm lazy. Ja! Ja? Working on a secret project. Ooh. Hey, Gero! Welcome, we have opened the door. And behind the door, who should we find? But another jester. No, we don't. Played some more FF9 last night. Your mind is numb. Which, of course, bodes well for the rest of the draw-through. I was half thinking of saying, you know what, screw the draw-through. Let's play Ghost Trick today. But then I was like, we gotta get this done. It's gotta get done at some point. Another door! More jesters. I'll be honest, the exact appearance of this character does not matter, because I don't remember that she's not really in the story for long. It's fine. In Fagora it was like this, but now you remember. Remember. Because no kind of way you are something pandemonium something. Yeah. We'll get this done and then palette cleanse with other things. Yeah, we're gonna rush through some of the end stuff in this. We'll get to that. Anyway, do you remember me in the last couple of streams continually reiterating who Queen Girlboss was? Well, she's here. She's here tonight. Which is why Mr. Swan had the Girlboss one. Don't worry, there's plenty of stuff at the end of this that I'm going to make real simple. You do not remember. Glad she is here, though. Yee. This was the Queen of Lindblom who ran away with the airship and turned the king into a frog because she found out that he was cheating on her. I think she's slightly older. I'm going to give it back. Girlboss. Good for her. Yeah. And it turns out, at some point, she sort of hitched a ride with Mr. Swan, and Mr. Swan's been keeping her here. Well, not here, I guess. Can't be keeping her here because he just got the MacGuffin that opened this place. This part of the game is not well written. It's fine. He is Fork now, but was Oglop, exactly. She turned him into an insect. And she introduces herself, and King Forg comes in, and he's like, "Oh my god!" You're here, you're safe. My lovely wife. And she's like, I don't remember marrying a frog. He's like, no, it is me. They turned me from an insect into a frog. It's a long, complicated story. Don't worry about it. She's like, oh yeah. So it is. Being an insect didn't suit you? Step on him, my queen, crush him. I think he ditched her here. Like this room that we're in has like a bed and stuff. It seems like cozy. It's not like a prison or anything. Step on him, not in a fun way. Okay, Kira, you've been playing ahead of me. Is the king necessary after this point? Is there anything the king had to do that the queen couldn't? Oh wait, hang on, no, we had an idea, didn't we? Yeah, he makes an airship, but Quimch can learn how to do that. So anyway, the king attempts apology and says, "Oh no, it was I'm so sorry, etc., etc., etc." And in the game, something happens, but here he gets eaten by Quimch at the behest of the queen, who is now in control of this operation. Anyway, so it turns out Queen Girlboss, she wasn't really prisoner. She wasn't really held prisoner here, kind of, sort of, not really. And she says that, you know, Mr. Swan was actually perfectly convivial as a host. It was just perfectly fine. The main issue was that he just kept bloody talking. Constantly going on and on. He loves the sound of his voice. Going on and on about his plans. I didn't understand a word of it, but he just didn't stop. That's her main complaint. Dramatic music. So much better than canon. King gets schlorped by a fly. Girlboss is in charge now. So yeah, and we don't have to go through any transformation back into a human scene. can say what happens in Canada Field 1, but this is honestly bad. There's not... It all feels very half-hearted. But, you know, it's the classic fairy tale of the prince is the thing that he needs the kiss to turn into the human kind of thing, but with adultery. Anyway. Although there is a fun bit when he turns back into a human, he can't stop ribbiting. He just keeps doing that occasionally. That's his punishment. No, his punishment is he gets eaten. And Quimch now knows how to design airships, which is great. Don't know why we didn't do this sooner. But, so yes. We rescue the queen, and we leave. And we go back to Lindblom, I guess. I'll be honest, my memory of this part of the game is a bit fuzzy, but she sort of explains the things he was talking about, or the bits that she remembers Mr. Swan was talking about, because he was just constantly talking about things. Left for a moment and came back to Vord. Don't worry, the king's been eaten, it's fine. Quimch finally gets to eat the frog. Their existential crisis is over, and now Quimch knows how to build airships. Typical. Look, miss, it was that, or the adulterer gets forgiven because he's a frog. Yeah, convinces her to turn him back into a human, and she does, but they do kind of get back together, but she did tell him, oh yeah, if she cheats on her again, she'll do something even worse, yes. So she does threaten him, like, if you do it again. So she's still in charge, basically. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. These characters don't really crop up again all that much. Pretty much everything that happens from here on in is disposable. She is Queen Girl Boss, exactly. I mean, we could do a half and half and just like have Quimch like keep the frog in the mouth and be like, you can come out on Christmases and Thanksgiving. But anywho, so that happens, and we go back to Lindblom and we chat about it, and she explains some stuff. And she explains that he was talking about a bunch of things like life forces and life energy and like merging of worlds and some very strange stuff. But he also mentioned things about mirrors, some things to do with mirrors, and something to do with a castle. A strange castle somewhere called... Hang on, I wrote this down. Now, I can't remember whether it was first name or last name. So I'm going to go with the funnier one and say Tiffany Castle. No, not that. You guys renamed that character earlier in the Drawthrough, so it's Tiffany's Castle now. It's either Tiffany's Castle or Flashback Castle, it's up to you. So anyway, there's a castle, and he was going on about this place and how there are things there and whatever. Something to do with mirrors and gateways and it doesn't really matter. But we're like, well, we have literally nothing else to go on, so. Speaking of mirrors and castles, you also did that last night, played more than you thought you'd guess. I mean, that part of the game is shorter than you'd think, but anywho. So we talk about this and we're like, well, we did see a castle, if you remember, back when we were in the desert. Hang on, let me get illustration for the, before then. This was, yeah, so it was before then. Yeah, when we were running around and fighting 4 cats in a house coat, I vaguely mentioned that there was this strange castle sort of embedded in this weird continent, which you couldn't get to it, surrounded by cliffs, you couldn't get to it by normal means. But now that Quimch knows how to make airships, we might actually be able to get there. So it's worth a crack. You never know. So yeah, we have a montage of new airship building. Bear should take notes. So yeah, quick period of time in which Quimch builds an entire airship by hand. Good job, Quimch. And technically I think it's called the Girl Boss 2, but I'm perfectly happy to call it the Quimch 1. It was patronized by Girl Boss, so it probably was named after them. But good job, Quimch. It's very difficult to navigate. The perfect airship. Another candidate for old school blenderifying. The Quimch 1. That'd be horrible while flying and you love it. Faster you go, the more the tongue flaps out of the way, so you're fine. Yeah, no, that doesn't happen yet, does it? No, does that happen? Yeah, yeah, something else happens here, right, Kira? Something involving hair? Does that happen at this point? Because I imagine this is like time is elapsing. Yes, okay, that does happen. Okay. So time is elapsing. It takes a while. Quimch, great as they are, this takes a while. And so people are sort of plodding around and they're helping rebuild Lindblom and all that sort of stuff. The fun stuff happening. However, as this is occurring, someone goes missing, as Kira has pointed out. And that someone is Butterknife. She's gone missing again. Oh, he's constantly bloody running away. Has the Quimch one ever heard of the Hindenburg? No, it's fine. Would it like to? Butterknife, why? And everyone's running around trying to find her. Not for the first time, probably not the last. And people are running around Lindblom, can't find her in Lindblom. They go back to Alexandria, can't find her in Alexandria. Oh god, where could she be? And Alexandria at the moment is in the process of also being rebuilt, and the castle is largely, is a bit worse for wear. And they go around the castle, and I think, yeah, there's a cute moment with James and Tantalus's crew, yeah, which I think I mistook for being earlier in the game, but basically there's, yeah, James is running around and looking for them, and Tantalus's crew is like, "Rare, we're gonna help you find them," and James is like, "Oh, okay, that's really? You're not gonna kidnap her again, are you?" It's like, no. But we go back to go back to Alexandria, trying to look for her. No one can find her. And Simeon's like, oh no, what's happened? We lost her again. He feels bad. Yeah, James is surprised that they genuinely want to help. And they're like, well, she helped save March. She helped us get the super soft, so of course we'll help. You help our bro, we'll help you. Yeah, scour Lindblom. She's not there. Scour Alexandria. She's not there. But while we're in Alexandria, we do meet someone else. After a little bit of Scooby-Dooing, for some reason. At the end of a broken pier in the docks of Alexandria, we meet someone we haven't seen for a bit. Yeah, Simeon thinks of looking in Alexandria because he's like, well, she's the queen of it. So, I know what I'm doing. I'm glad you reminded me of this because I forgot about this, but no, we're here now. But yes, we, as we're looking around, we meet up again with Jessie, who's still here helping the sort of rebuilding effort. Because in the absence of the queen, I guess she's in charge. And she goes over her sort of, misgivings and issues that she had as being basically the sort of military leader of a genocide, several genocides. Jessie's here. Jessie's basically in charge of the kingdom, and she's doing grand. And she also talks about when Butterknife came here and the night that she arrived on the raft in the middle of the storm, and it was like a week or so after the queen lost a daughter, a baby daughter, and I was like, wow, this is a gift from the gods. A new daughter. Because her biological mother was already dead on the raft. And so they're like, you look just like the daughter that we just lost. This is an amazing coincidence that is not explained. We're going to adopt you as our own. And then they hacksawed off the horn. At the behest of the king, I believe. And yeah, she still feels a bit bad about that. But yeah, we get a bit of... Thank you, Jeep. Never forget. Also, her eye patch might have changed sides a few times. I'm not keeping track. But yeah, she's helping rebuild things now. She's still a bit, iffy about everything, but, And Simeon's like, that's great and all, but do you know where the princess is? Sorry, the queen. Do you know where the princess is? Quincine? And she goes, she's gone missing again? It always bloody happens. Have you checked by her mother's grave? Has anyone checked there yet? And the answer is no. Princess Zolderknife. Honestly, Princess Zolderknife is an easier to say name than anything she's had before. So I'm going with Princess Zolderknife. Yeah, Jessie knows what's up. She's helped raise her from a child. And also, cool sword. Jessie has the cool sword. Also, I've inadvertently drawn her in more accurate proportions to the game. Big head. And Simeon's here, and he's not listening. Why have I not been drawing him like this the whole time? This is a great picture of Simeon. Does he ever listen? No. It's the most accurate picture of Simeon I've drawn. Yeah, and so she says, have you checked by the thing? By the monument. And no one has. So Simeon goes over there. Jesse doesn't, Simeon does. Would anyone like to babysit a Zukon? Zukon? He's only throwing several tantrums because he's convinced he's never been fed, not once ever. Damn, right? I mean, Kira's already done babysitting duty for the week. I keep mistaking babysitting and kidnapping, so it shouldn't be me. Done babysitting for now, yeah. So we go to the monument. Also done, but yeah, Cube's also done babysitting duty. Nobody quote that for legal reasons. And we find Princess All the knife. She's here. At the thing. Paying her respects, having a think, all that sort of stuff. And Simeon's like, oh, there you are! We've been looking literally all over several kingdoms for you. You don't have quite so wibbly hair as Jesse. Getting a bit confused between characters there. Yeah, babysitting, kidnapping, accidental child acquisition. What's the difference? Consent. Remember, if you're planning to kidnap a child, get consent first. I can't remember what outfit she's wearing here at the moment. Doesn't matter a huge amount. But yeah, she's here, and lo and behold, I bet some of you didn't even remember this was a thing, but lo and behold, she can speak now. Her voice has returned to her after the trauma of her hometown being destroyed. Yeah, she couldn't speak, remember? But she can speak now. She's found a bit of resolve. And she's made some decisions about the trajectory of her life, which is that she's not quite ready to be queen just yet. And she wants to finish, she wants to settle the score with Mr. Swan before that happens. The trajectory does not include Simeon. I mean, sure, why not? So yeah, who's going to be queen then? We're going to have an interim period of, I guess, Jessie just being in charge of the cleanup operation, and then when she comes back, if she comes back, then it'll all get sorted then. Very sweet moment that surprised you yesterday, though. One of the boys you babysit accidentally knocked his head on some playground equipment. Oh no! And he immediately ran towards you, held on, and cried onto your shoulder for a moment. He wasn't expecting it at all. Glad he felt safe enough to do that. To do so, though, he was able to comfort him and calm him down. That's all good. Yeah. That's nice. You are a safe person, Kira. It's Tombstone. I mean, you know. A good sculptor captures somebody as they were in life. An evil Muppet. You try, eat. But yeah, so she says a few things like, you know, Okay, I'm gonna join you, but I'm not gonna join you like as a princess. I'm gonna join you as a quincess. My new name is Zorld or Zorld the Knife. Speaking of knives, you remember that knife that you gave me that helped me come up with my name? Do you mind me having a look at that again? And Simeon's like, sure, why not? Hang on. Yes, the perspective's all wrong, but that makes it better. Oh no, it kind of works actually. So if you remember way back, she got her sort of incognito name of Princess Butterknife by looking at Simeon's dagger. Which, I mean, by this point in the game is probably upgraded to be something capable of killing God, but you know. Can't be queen yet, so anyway, first I'm gonna go after this genocidal maniac, and Jesse will be in charge for a while, maybe forever. No, you don't get a choice in this. His butter knife. His sharp butter knife. Yeah, she's like, can I have a look at that again? And he's like, yeah, sure, here you go. And she grabs it and she runs off. And he's like, hang on. This is weird. And then we have a nice dramatic shot of her on the end of a pier with the sunset behind her. Right-handed. She holds the knife up to the back of her head. She's no longer princess. Throw her in jail for stealing. A nice dramatic shot that I have no particular intention of trying to accurately recreate. Yeah, it's all like this is a nice animated cutscene. It's well done, this visually. And she grabs the knife and she holds it up to the back of her head, like so. Everyone has big boots. She holds the knife to the back of her head. And then kershwing. She cuts her hair off. Not all of it. She has like a bob now. Yeah, you could have told Simeon what you were gonna do. He's like, what the hell are you gonna do with the knife? Quick, no! You're not that depressed now, you come back. Yeah, so she cut. So much like the last Drawthrough we did of a game, the long dark hair gets cut off at the ponytail and becomes a bob cut. Didn't really think of that till now. It's a theme in games. castle over here and stuff. And the wreckage of the town over there. 'Tis a theme. Cutting hair, symbolic. I don't know what symbolic of, but loss of innocence, I guess. Growing up. Yeah, sign of character growth / change, yes. If you want a gender bend version of this, play Tales of the Abyss. Nice. This spreads even further. Everybody, make a list. Make an online list of games in which characters cut their hair for symbolic reasons. The theme is that it's a sign of character growth / change, so you don't know how much this means now. Anyway, so there we go. Symbolic character, ooh, amazing. She cuts her hair off. And I think the first thing that happens after this is that we go back to Lindblom and Betty looks at her and is like, "What happened to your hair? It was nice." That's why you look up the main character of Abyss, you'll see images of him with long hair and images of him with short hair. Oh. I'm trying to think if this happens in any other Final Fantasy. I can't think it. The intro also spoils, as games often do. Look at all these cool things in the game, including spoiler. Okay, so, cool. Character development over. We return to the main plot, which is that there's a castle called Castle Tiffany, or Tiffany's Castle. And the Quinch 1 will be able to fly us there, and obviously March is going to be in charge of piloting the Quinch 1 because we need someone competent. So yeah, we'll return and we'll have a nice reconciliation, and Butter Knife has a nice reconciliation with her aunt, I guess. Queen to Queen, or Queen to Quincess. And we talk about the castle, and we're like, oh, go to the castle then. We don't really know what's going on here, but there's more MacGuffins apparently, so we need to find the MacGuffins. So we fly in the Quinch 1. Yep, again. Cheeb with the true facts. And we fly our way to this castle. However, when I say castle, I'm not entirely accurate in calling it that. Because it looks something like this. Give it a draw. Guess for the sake of perspective. Doing this all with a very small brush, sorry. Just try and do this clearly for the sake of the streams. Yeah. Castle hurt your brain? Can't imagine why. So yeah, the castle looks like this. Why? Good question. Fortunately for us, there's like a big staircase leading up to the top half. I'd say we'll get to that, but there's not really any explanation. It just is. Fantasy. Why not? But yeah, it's basically like two castles sellotaped together. One of them's upside down. And yeah, and this place has some gimmicks, much like the place that we went to that you couldn't use magic. This place has a kind of like inverse correlation, i.e. the stronger your weapon, the weaker you're gonna be. So you're better off going in there with like a crappy little dagger, or, you know, hitting things with a wet stick. So it's a fun idea for a gameplay thing. It's just not particularly well integrated into the world. But it's a fun idea also in terms of navigation, because you go in there and you go into a room, and then you also slide down the room into the same room but upside down, and you have to navigate in a different way. And it's not very long, but it's an interesting idea. So anyway, yes, this is Tiffany's castle. AKA Inafit's Eltsack? I don't know the fact the castle backwards is Eltsack. There's a cryptic note about things being the opposite of what you expect. It does have treasure chests that have the weakest weapons for all the characters. Yeah, so if you happen to sell all the crap weapons, it does actually give them to you, which is quite nice. They did think that through. And when I say it looks like this, what I mean is like it's literally sort of standing on stilts. It's like got these sort of pointy like top parts. What are they called? The spires kind of thing, but upside down, just poking into the ground. This is just here. I think there sort of is an explanation, but precisely, it just raises more questions, frankly. But we'll get to that. We won't. I'll forget about it. I just kind of like the idea of this place of like you're going through rooms one way up and then the other way up, and there's some fun things. So for example, actually I can give you an example of one of the rooms. Well, I'll give you an example of one of the rooms after I explain what happens when we arrive. Because when we arrive at this extraordinarily long staircase, up to one half of the castle, we're like, great, let's go, this seems grand. But then Knuckles is like, right, okay, let's sort this out. I joined you because you said that by following you, I'd understand the point of the friendship and strength and unity and whatever. I don't know. So far, I've seen bugger all. And frankly, I'm starting to wonder whether there ever was actually anything in what you said. So how about this? This is a nice, neat little thing, right? We're here at a castle to get a MacGuffin. I'll go on alone, and you guys go as a group. Whoever gets the MacGuffin first wins the argument. Your hair gets more ostentatious every time I draw you. As long as your hands stay as big as they need to be, we're all good. What? Good, Jibby understands. Sorry, your posture's way too straight there. That's better. Repeat that, sir. He has a thing about being a lone wolf and being like, oh, you're better off alone and all that sort of stuff. And he followed Simeon because Simeon said, if you follow us, you'll learn about friendship and the art of working together as a team. And he's like, this is all bollocks. And he's finally had enough and he's like, okay, I'm going to prove it. I'm going to prove I'm right and I'm going to go off and I'm going to get the thing before you. And you're going to have all wasted your time and then I'm going to leave. So, you know, we want proof. We're going to get proof. Bye. And then he just wanders off into the castle. With anything you had equipped on him. Just as a quick mechanical aside, if you happen to use him as a character, he's just gone off with all your stuff. This is not the time. I quite like this drawing of him though. Looks like quite well. Knuckles, this is not the time. You don't care. He's off. He's gone in. And Vivi's like, should we stop him? Or and Simeon's like, no. We're not getting through to him. We'll just see what happens, I guess. How has Mr. Swan not achieved whatever he wants to achieve yet? I don't know, frankly. I missed playing doing draw-throughs of things that made you scream at the screen. I knew we'd get there eventually, you know? Like, there were some silly things in the first half of this game, sure. Some things that didn't quite make sense or whatever. No, you know, no game's perfect. But I hope you're understanding now, at least a little bit. We've got a lot to go, but I hope you're understanding at least a little bit why I said we'll get to that. And why we said that the end of the game is bit of a mess. Jeep screaming is the best. Your brother just chatted with me for a bit. We're playing this bit last night. Told him that you were playing FF9 and told him where you were. Ceases also played the game a long time ago and said that Knuckles had just left the party. You were in the Topsy-Turvy Castle and your brother was like, good, wasn't using you anyway. He's not a great character, all things considered. He's not very well defined. Doesn't really have a particularly good role. You were so competent a while ago when you were committing genocide. What happened? Geldo? Is that what we called him? Geldo? Something like that. He happened. He came along and then the eye disappeared in the sky. Mrs. Swan's like, bugger. Because like Vivi's whole thing with the Black Mages was like, hey, we gotta, stick together and all that sort of stuff, and not go and work for genocidal maniacs. Oh, the Black Mages now are back in their village because they realised that he was lying and he couldn't extend their life, and they've got some thinking to do about, hey, their life is finite. That guy too? Who are we talking about? I've forgotten. Oh, Goldo. Is there someone called Goldo? Oh, you're talking about the original guy's name. The guy's original name in the game. And yes, his name is a reference to something in a previous Final Fantasy game. You're tired. Yee. Sorry, I wasn't saying yee to you being tired. Evie's like, hey, can we stop being idiots? Simeon's like, I don't know, can we? Yeah, his original name's Garland, which is why I was quite surprised with Goldo. I mean, yeah, frankly. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what Goldo's deal is first before we make that distinction. But not incredibly wrong. Stop focusing on shoes, right? You think you're right. You don't care about Goldo. Yeah, so Knuckles runs off in and does things his own way. Yeah. Where's that quote? So yes. And we go in ourselves and we do various things. And there's we go in ourselves. Everybody except Knuckles. Quimch goes in. And there's a fun little room which I quite like. Which is obviously two rooms, because it's simultaneously the room and the upside down room. But it's a room that's got like sort of area here. I guess if I'll do the trick that I just did. Save myself some time. I'm allergic to ukuleles. Yeah. Bless me, thank you. Anyway, so there's this. Well, the perspective's not going to make any sense, really, because I want to draw the floor. So. But anyway, there's this area which has, like, sort of little holes and things in the floor, which are like little trapdoors and stuff like that. And it goes to this area here, which is this sort of thing that goes around like that. And you come in a sort of door in a wall here. These are just some columns. And there's this pole that's sort of going through the floor, a little circular hole in the floor. And there's a big old chandelier here, I think. Something like that. I think there's a ladder here that doesn't go anywhere. You can go up it if you want. But what you end up doing is you end up sort of coming in here. You avoid all the little traps and stuff like that. You hop on the thing, and then you slide down the thing, which brings you out down here. And then you start walking on like bits of the ceiling, and you can sort of jump up onto this, which has a little treasure chest on it. And then you go up this ladder, which did nothing upstairs, but if you go up it, you can now walk on the ceiling of this bit, around, and then out the door that you came in, but now upside down. And it's just fun little ideas like that I quite like. Where you sort of you walk on the floor in one room, and then you start walking on the ceiling in the next. I feel like this idea could have been explored a lot more. There's basically like 2 rooms that this happens in, but it's something. It illustrates the point. Anywho, you go through this castle, everything's topsy-turvy. Oh, no, there's one more thing I forgot to add while I'm here. I'm going to do it over here. This, I believe, is the part of the game where you'll fight Tonberries. You can fight Tonberries, or you can just look at them going, "Aw." And they have like embroidered hoods in this one as well, which is nice. He's a Tonberry. And they're just wandering around, giving things a poke. Missed it if so. It does seem like it's mostly like gargoyles and Cerberuses. Pretty sure it's Tonberries here. Thought the right eye was a beak. No, it was two eyes. Anywho, there. Yeah, Cerberus flying eyeball monsters, yeah. There's the gargoyles and whatever it is that turns gargoyles into living things. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, here's the Tonberry here. I just wanted to draw a Tonberry because I like Tonberries. Anywho, we finally make our way to the MacGuffin room. Said you weren't able to let Gumchi a Tonberry now. Oh, don't eat the Tonberry. They sound tasty, but they're not. I'm gonna check. I'm pretty sure this is where you fight Tonberries. Tonberry is an enemy from Final Fantasy IX found in Tiffany's castle. Oh, they're always seen in trios. I forgot about that. In this game, they got friends. Hello. Hello. In reference to their past names, I'm going to call them Tom, Don, and Dingle. The RNG then didn't show up at all while you were there. I think it's literally in the first room. First room of the castle. I think that's the only place they can appear. Might be wrong. Oh, and apparently... well, that's spoilers. I won't mention that. But look at them. They'd be fancy in this game. They've got like textured hoods and big old ropes and cool knife. And I love the little lantern. It's nice. Keep your secrets. I'll mention it when it happens. Fancy lads, fancy boy. I gotta finish the hood on my crochet one actually. But ye. So we get to the MacGuffin room, which is here. Actually, for the sake of saving myself time later, let me just do some stuff. What's the other one? Oh, yeah. I remember things, it's fine. This is all very important. Anywho, we're in this room now. And, oh, would you look at that? Knuckles got here before us. Super important. Definitely not blinking, you miss it stuff. It's very important. So yes, and he's like, well, I won. That solved that problem then. Bye. And then he buggers off. He's like, well, don't need to travel with you anymore. I've proved my point. Screw you. Never going to see you again. Bye. And then he flips you off and walks out. And once again, we're like, can we stop him? Do we want to? But he didn't actually get the MacGuffin. He just got to the room where the MacGuffin is and was like, oh, that's good enough. I don't actually want the MacGuffin, I'm just here to prove a point. And so we look in this room with Knuckles having now just left the game. And we see that there's like a map on the far wall. A map of the world. We've seen a map of the world now. And it's got some things on it. But before we can look too closely, a big old monster pops up and says, I am the guardian of this thing. And then you fight it because it's a boss. And I don't know how to draw it because it's basically like a giant, like, woodlouse sort of thing. Very crustacean. Well, that was pointless. Was it? Or will it become the most important part of the story? So yeah, it's a giant bug. Why is it a giant bug? This was the point of the game where they had bosses and didn't know where to put them. Okay, Jeeb, I'll give you minor spoilers, multiple choice. Either it will become the most important theme in the story, or we will mention it once more and never again. Which do you think? Which do you think of those two options it'll be? Evil Metapod. No, it has arms. It's got many legs and armsels. Miss, don't look. Yeah, and it does a thing where basically you can just sort of waste your time by hiding in a shell and not taking damage from things. But yeah, you're going with option 2. Come up once and never again. That seems to be a theme in this game. Now, I could spend more time on this, but it doesn't really matter. It's just a giant insect. And it does say something important. I remember when playing through this, it says something that actually turns out to be important, and I was like, oh, they mentioned that here, but then I forgot what it was, so. And it's something about, like, that they are the keeper of the mirrors, and the mirrors do something. If Kiro can't remember, it doesn't matter. If neither of us can remember what it is. You literally saw this hours ago. That's this part of the game, everyone. I saw this hours ago and I can't remember. All is one? We'll go with that. That could be useful. Something like that? Yeah. Yeah, sure, why not? There's more than I had, so... all for one and one for all, exactly. So this is all for one and one for all. This game is like that, yeah it is. The Three Musketeers. So yes, all for one and one for all, it says, and then it dies. You can also do what I did, which is spend ages trying to steal a weapon from it. Only to realise that you can buy that weapon like 2 hours later in the game. It's a dagger called the Orichalcon. Pretty sure they say something like all is one and one is all, but you don't remember the exact wording. It's something like that. But anyway, you fight it. I can't even remember what it's called. It's just a weird bug. You had to delay that fight for a while to get the weapon. Kept missing. It's so hard to steal from this boss. Simeon is a terrible thief. Anyway, this is why I never steal things in this in Final Fantasy games, because it's just the worst. You just did a big buy. Ooh, exciting times. Hey, Christy, how you doing? Thievery and everything on, and it still took forever. Yeah. Stealing in Final Fantasy games is just the worst. There should be a mini game. It should be a little mini game that you got to get right, and then if you do, boom, you succeed. And the mini game gets harder as you. Anyway, not a big fan of dice rolls affecting things that are just time based. You know, if you're gonna have a thing where you have to roll a dice to see whether it's gonna happen, make sure I can't just keep rolling the dice until I win, because otherwise that's just wasting my time. But yeah, exciting, Christy. Exciting times. Eyes. Yeah, so we kill that, and it talks about stuff, and we forget it. Ooh. Burb checking the wiki. Exciting times, Christy. I don't know what this is, but it sounds cool. I'm gonna look it up. Ooh, fancy. Oh, stop giving me 700 cookie notices, please. Well, it seems very good. From my very cursory glance, I've seen good things, so yee. Ah! It's exciting times. Sorry, people on the VOD, this is going to be confusing, but at the same time, it wasn't mentioned in chat, so I'm not going to mention it here. No. I respect friends' privacy. However, I do very quickly need to post a good gif of Kermit. There it is. The boss's name was Tahaka. You remember it because it reminded you of a spell from SMT and Persona games. Yeah. I did not remember that at all. That is one of those names that I looked at it and went, that's ringing 0 bells. But anyway, to return to the MacGuffin room, we notice this sort of world map in the background. And this is down here. This is the Mist Continent. This is where we started the game and where all the wars took place, all that sort of stuff. Didn't mention it in chat because you didn't want it to stay focused. This is a fun and important thing. It's exciting. But yeah, you can mention it wherever you want. I'm not gonna hinder nor encourage you. You do as you will. But at the same time, if you choose not to mention something here, I will not mention it myself because that's rude. According to the wiki, they say energy flow interrupted, energy to Terra. You dare get in the way of Terra's master plan. Yeah, that's a decent amount of information. But an important thing for context: what an art print and sticker print. Z3. Z3. Art printer is a sticker printer. Printers is cool Christie stuffs. No, Z3. It's like a little cat with confused eyes. It's kind of like X3, but a bit more like woozy. Sorry, what are the things? Yes, big wall. And it's got world map. So here's the continent we're on. Here's the continent with the Black Mages and the Desert Palace that we were at before. Here's the forgotten continent. You are here. You're there in a little cliff hole thing. What would you call it? There's probably a geological word for it. It's not a chasm. I think chasms are like long and thin, aren't they? Like they're big sort of like splits in the ground. This is just like a hole. Whatever. Dry lake. So yeah, we're there. And there's these. Oh, and this up here is the little polar area where we were in the volcano last time. They're the 4 major sort of bits of land in this world. And up here is where the god of the chocobos is, and up here is where the postal system for Moogles is. I will not go into those. And somewhere in the sky is a big angry cloud of colour. But also we have these mirrors. We have some mirrors. Shiny little mirrors, colour-coded. Conveniently. And we look at them and we decide to take them, because... MacGuffins. We plunder. That's what we do. And because they're on a map, we're like, well, we should probably go to where these things are on the map. see what's there, see if we can find anything. Do we get any more information from anywhere else, Kira, or do we just do that? I'm trying to remember if well, either way, there's some stuff that happens before that. So yeah, we get these mirrors. I think it was trying to take these that spawned the woodlouse, but doesn't matter. So yes, we grab the mirrors and we go. We got the MacGuffins. We got what we came for. We lost a character. Doesn't matter too much, and we go to leave. And then we get outside. Where all the characters who weren't in our party were here. Who's not in our party? Who would be in our party? Obviously not Knuckles. I assume Vivi. Vivi's always good value. Quimch, of course. Sorry, my throat's getting a bit weird. Apologies, I'm making horrible noises down a microphone.
That wasn't necessary of you, but you have my thanks.
Thank you for following Oni Aeon. That's Final Fantasy X. We haven't got to that one yet. How many people could be at a party? 4. Shadow of the Hedgehog. Yeah, Quimch is here. And James. Cool. Kick Simeon from the party as well. Hey, back. I'm Christy. Haha. Yokes. It's been so long, I've forgotten how to draw James. What's going on? We're still at the castle. Yes, we've just left. We've just come outside. Oh yeah, James is in this game. James is a great character who only really exists in the first half. Very much a character left by the wayside. Speaking of which, Nox is here. Another cool character who does not get nearly the amount of attention they deserve. Just for reference, for the friend who just followed, we're doing a draw-through of Final Fantasy IX, which means I'm just trying to explain it from memory and draw it from memory. And all of the characters get renamed along the way. So if you happen to know the game and are confused as to why everybody's called weird things, it's because chat chooses all the names. Also, I try not to get too precious with the drawings, but sometimes I fail and spend way too long on them. We are exceptional at it. So Nox is here, as is, what's her name now? Zolda Knife? Red Lancer Dancer, she needs more screen time, yeah. Not enough goes on with her. She rewrite the game, so the more about Dr. Harker says, when it's all is one, you'll never break the seal. Seal? Sfeel? Zorl the Knife. Yes, the Zorl the Knife, the newly short-haired Zorl the Knife. Are we doing bowling pins? Sure, let's do bowling pins. We have Betty, of course. Sans pistachio. I mean, she already is a bowling pin, basically, so... and that's it, I think, because there are 8 characters and one of them's bugged off. I don't know what you're wearing, so you're going back in your Moogle costume. To commemorate the loss of Pistachio. Yeah. We love Nox and fully agree she needs more screen time. Yes. Kid has seen some things. I mean, I was about to say she witnessed the destruction of her people, but she didn't. She was not alive at that time. No Floof Moogle. No. And the ghost of Pistachio is here. But yeah, so we come out and we're like, cool, we got the MacGuffins, they're here. There are 4 of them. Exciting times. And everybody outside's like, wow, well done, good job, you won. We're like, what? Was that you beat Knuckles? You came out before him. We're like, no, he got to the thing before us. So he won. I was like, well, he hasn't come out yet. Then I'm, So he's still in there somewhere. And we didn't see him on the way out. So he's not on the main path. Pistachio's here in our hut. Rip Knuckles. So then we leave. We could do. We ate the frog. We might as well. Yeah, well, let's go. Try to fist fight some Tonberries. Yeah, that's the problem. Actually, that might make sense because Simeon, being Simeon, takes it upon himself to go back in there. Everyone else is like, why don't we leave? And Simeon's like, no. My whole point was sticking together. I would lose if we leave. Yeah, Simeon won't leave him behind. That's Simeon's whole thing. He can't win by leaving him to deal with the consequences of being alone, because then they would have left him alone, thus something. Character development. You've already lost Simeon. You think he cares about losing, about having lost? He probably doesn't even realize. Yeah, he'll not leave someone behind. So he goes in alone to try and find him. And this was the interesting thing I found out while looking up the picture of the Tonberry, is apparently when you do that, Tonberries don't spawn. Tonberries do not spawn when it's just Simeon in your party. You can only fight them when everybody else goes in there at the same time. So maybe he did get beaten up by some Tonberries. They mugged him and they ran off with the loot. That's my headcanon now. You know nothing about Simeon and you don't care to know. You wanna, like, not see Wednesday streams for a bit? I'll make up for it. We'll do Fool's AU on Thursday mornings. Anyway. So he goes back in after to try and find him. And do you remember this room? The one with the Tonberries, who have now recently mugged. What are they? Got like one of the bracelets as a hat. What else? This one now has a cool glove with knives on it. This one stole one ONE dreadlock. Thought this game was almost over. In a sense, it's already finished. Yeah, this is we're near the end of disc 3. I don't know how many more streams we have to go because I do have to explain the ending. There's a surprising amount in the ending, but there's also like the whole final area and a couple more streams. I'm thinking like 4 or 5. It depends how quickly I can rush through the next big section. Hopefully by the end of the year we can get it done by the end of the year, and then next year we can start a new 16 symbols sort of thing. Be fun. Yeah, 4 or 5 sounds right. Anywho, so these Tonberries, they mugged him and then they threw him down one of these trap doors. I think in the game he just fell, but it's more fun. And he's like down here somewhere. Saving, there we go. Oh, your chin, sir. I still don't know how it works. Oh no, Knuckles, oh gosh, the peril. Nothing has been happening. These characters have just been getting thrown around. Things will happen. Certainly next time things will happen. I assure you. Maybe we'll get to my favorite line in the game today. But anyway, Simeon comes here and is like, hey, idiot, do you want help? Knuckles is like, no, maybe. He's like, why did you come back? You left. I heard you leave. Why did you come back? I did actually check on my playthrough to see whether you could see him on the floor here before you left, but the camera doesn't move that far. So they thought about it. Where's Vivi? Vivi's outside at the moment. Was with us. But Simeon decided to come in and do this alone. So I think you just remembered earlier, Queen Gullboss also does tell them that Mr. Swan talked a lot about seals. Connection between Gaia and Terra and such. Yeah, like I say, he waffles on about stuff and she didn't really understand it. But we know a bit about that. Something to do with a seal. But yeah, Simeon's like, I don't care. You're with us now. In a slightly sinister way. Oh, I should also explain to our new friend, we've done a few of these before. We've done Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII, for instance. And particularly when I did the Final Fantasy VIII one, I kept getting copyright strikes for the music in the background. So this time I just made my own. I was like, this is my knockoff Final Fantasy soundtrack. It's not as good, but I had fun doing it. Nems and Labbies ship them in a slightly sinister way. Yeah, Simeon's alone during it. No one else wanted to go in and get Knuckles. Oh yeah, we've also done Metal Gear Solid and Bioshock Infinite. I'm tempted to do Metal Gear Solid 2, but I will not do it justice. But yeah, Simeon helps him up and they get out, so on and so forth. That's very much like FF9 music. Did a bang up job. Thank you very much. I had an excellent reference in the form of listening to all of Nobuo Uematsu's stuff. I tried not to rip off any actual music, but you know, he's an influence. So, yeah, and basically, Simeon helps Knuckles get out, and Knuckles learns a valuable lesson about friendship, or something. Anyway, Chief, did you like the one mention that this storyline gets before we never talk about it again? This part of the game is so underdeveloped. It needed another at least a year of development, this game. It's weird because it's so lopsided. The first half of the game's real solid and the second half is strange. It's a JRPG. Friendship. Like the friendship of these three Tonberries. What were they called? Ton, Don, and Dingle? Anyway, we leave, having acquired the MacGuffins. So what happens now? Do we just go back to Lindblom, we have a chat about it, and then we decide let's go to these places? Can the game go back to being about Vivi? Again, Vivi should have been the protagonist, really. Vivi and Butter Knife really have the most going on for the first half. Can we keep the Tonberries and leave this dude in the basement? Is there any detriment? Hero, can you think of any reason to keep Knuckles in the story? Because I would be happy having a Tonberry as a replacement. Love me a Tonberry. Stack 3 Tonberries in a trench coat, give them Knuckles' gloves. I'm struggling to think of anything else he does. I'm going to draw 3 Tonberries in a trench coat regardless. Oh, that's a point. There was an enemy I was going to draw from the desert palace that I didn't draw, which is kind of like 3 things in a trench coat. Near the start of Pandemonium, your current playthrough, you can't remember if he does anything from the past playthroughs. Yeah, I can't think of it. And we have a rule with these draw-throughs only for reference, which is that well, I guess the rule is if we can't remember something, we have to make it silly. But I guess as a subsidiary to that is that if we can make it silly and it's not a detriment to the plot in any way, why not? Kinda tries to help Simeon when he loses himself later on. Yeah, but everyone does that and it doesn't matter. I'm very interested to see what Jeeb's reaction to that's going to be. This is another candidate for janky blender render. Simeon loses himself, there's nothing to lose. We'll get to that. We'll get to it. Stands around with his arms folded. As far as you remember, that's his contribution to the plot in the latter part of the game. Yeah. Like, this is the most plot he's had since he was introduced. And it's done now. Anyway, this is Tondon Dingle. It may be our new party member. It does point out that Simeon's acting weird at one point later on. It does show concern for him. Wow, we're really plunging the depths of character portrayals now, aren't we? Glad we didn't listen to your joke about naming him Ronan earlier. Ronan Dex has much more character. Knuckles has much more character. Mr. the Echidna. I don't really know how Tonberry anatomy works underneath the thing. I'm imagining more, you know, bits of the coat being held closed by arms. More knives, oh yeah. A knife sticking out there. Just that hand's just a knife. And they're using a knife as a tie. What a shiny tie you have, sir. That perspective makes no sense. And we're definitely here for perspective, right? Definitely here for actually good drawings. Okay, we won't get to my favourite line today, that's fine. Makes sense not to start that without being able to finish it, so... We do, however, get, Tondon Dingle. After we teach somebody about the importance of friendship and then abandon them. Where's everyone going? Bingo. Tophead, that's a good character. That's which one was that? Ton. I think that was Ton. They were the one that took the dreadlock. No, it was Dingle. Dingle took the dreadlock. Love that this stream has had 2 instances of actually, you know what, screw cannon, we're doing this now. Yeah, Frog gets eaten, and we're replacing Knuckles with Tom Don Dingle. Ton Don Dingle. Who may literally just be here for the purposes of collecting karma, but, you know, and being a better thief than Simeon. Anyway, there we go. This is a very cute picture, thank you. If it's the line you're thinking of, no, but it's a very good line. We'll get to it tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Next week. So yeah, Ton Don Dingle, new party member. And they're the one that tells us what these mirrors do and where they should go, because they've been in the castle and they know context. I feel bad on ending on somebody saying hello. Alas, if we start anything now, we will very much be in the midst of it. Not that I've ever left this stream on a cliffhanger. Hey, Strawberry! But yeah, that'll be all, I think, for today. Hello, goodbye. I'm sorry. Feel bad. But we will be back tomorrow morning for working on some art that I need to do for Crimblemas for people. Some actual art and not 3 Tonberries and a Trenchcoat. Who said that and why? Was it me? I was probably Oh, I didn't say that. Gosh, swears. Maybe I did it for comedic effect. Something to do with Eurovision, probably. Anyway. Hello, goodbye, Strop. But yes, we'll be back tomorrow morning to do some doodles for Cramblemas for peoples. And then we'll be back Saturday morning for music times. Maybe trying to finish off that Death by Glamour cover. Funk cover, as it accidentally turned out. Oh, it was you during Eurovision. Oh, I'm gonna have to amend it so that it says your name. Otherwise, you know, misattribution. But, yeah. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Music, Saturday morning, Saturday evening, I think we're doing War Tales. Have to check, see what everyone's up for. It was a collective agreement at the time, yes. Yeah, War Tales, Saturday evening, Sunday evening, doodles with friends. Fun times. Tuesday, we're going to start Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective. I've installed it, it works, life's good. I've also set it to have the original soundtrack, because it has an arranged soundtrack, and I'm like, now give me the original experience. Yeah, Ghost Trick, I'm excited. There's a good dog that needs seeing. I mean, Sweden's act at Eurovision wasn't terrible. It was just, like, not great. Shouldn't have won. And Germany were robbed. They deserved way better than second to last place. You played the original game and can confirm the OG soundtrack is very good. Yeah. I always like playing the originals if I can. Although I don't have it on DS, but, you know. Don't know the newer versions, so can't really compare. And you still won't after my playthrough, because I have it set to the original. So, it's nice that they give you the choice. But yes. Blah, 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 blah. I've talked way too much, as usual. Still have to hear that song every week, because for some reason radio people here love it. Really? Well, the Sweden one. Yes. What? I was hoping you'd say no, the Germany one. Like, I don't really remember much of the songs from last year's Eurovision because it wasn't great, but you don't know what either. Well, at least it wasn't a repeat of the Italian one of the year before. It was like, they've been listening to nothing but this for 6 months. And it was terrible. Ho-hum, when is Eurovision? Oh, well, that was this year, probably not last year, because there's not much left. Remember green puffy shirt? Yes, exactly. Green puffy shirt and a sense of fun. Being trounced by somebody who's already won before, singing a boring song. Sorry, I have opinions about the Eurovision Song Contest, even though I've only said it twice. It's supposed to be a song contest, for God's sake. FF9 one. Oh, I missed it. Boo. It's in May. Okay. So we're like halfway round. Halfway there. Till the next one. Oh, and it's going to be all about ABBA, isn't it? Sweden's hosting. Oh, the quote. Oh yeah, that was when I couldn't remember James's name. Yeah. Back in the good old days when I couldn't remember James's name, and now we're just never draw James. Mrs. Happy, yeah. I said I've been talking too much, and yet here we are talking more. Such is my hypocrisy. But we'll be back, and next week...
I can't go that way.
Can't go that way. Next week we won't go that way. We will instead go elsewhere. And go eep. Go eep. Have a good time. And I'll see you all around. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for chatting, and thanks for being silly. Goodbye.
It's closed.
It's closed. The stream's closed. It's over. Bye.